Hello and welcome to another Top Flight show. It's me, Chris Parr, race director, and as ever with Richard Morrell, our chief commentator, host, the dulcet tones.
The dulcet tones, indeed.
Shoes.
Yeah, big red shoes as well.
No, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Chris. Looking forward to another good episode of the Top Flight show. Rattling through the fixtures for the year.
Yep, so it's going to be the big announcement this week.
Yeah.
The fixtures for 2026. So before we get into that, though, let's have a quick recap. How are you getting on with the training? And more importantly, have you got any actual targets or races? Because I'm seeing a lot of our mates making some sort of comebacks.
Yeah.
And great shout outs to them. So one of my best mates, Adam Vandenberg, shout out because he listens every time. He has really got into his track this year. So life begins at 40, and he picked up a bronze medal in the UK Masters Championship in September. Yeah, so he'd gone...
What distance?
1500. So he'd gone from he ran 353, I'm going to say.
I was just going to say, what time
or maybe
Masters
351.
getting round?
No, so back in the day at Loughborough, he ran that quick. So low 350s. And low 150s, right? So he was a very good runner, but then had 10 years of doing a bit of fitness, but really had let himself go, you would probably admit. And then he's really, really got into it again this last few years, and he's got a good little group that he's training with out in Dubai. And the ball started rolling and just totally throwing himself at it, and culminating in third. It's class, getting to watch people re-find the love for the sport, because we did it from being kids, right? So what tends to happen is people get into their teens and then in their 20s, and then there's a massive dropout. But because people have been at a very high level, they find it hard to come back in at any level, because it's not the same. So it's class to get that competitive side. And then of our other mates, I seen Ryan McLeod. 3:33 at Chester Marathon.
2:33.
Sorry, why am I saying? 2:33 at Chester Marathon, which was, I think, a bit of sandbagging, because he has been doing quite a bit of training recently.
Yeah,
and looking good in training, but
a
marathon is a different animal. And went sensible in the first half, picked it up, ran a good second half.
Ran it with Adam Pearce, didn't he?
With Pearce, yeah. So shout outs to some of the old boys, basically.
Yeah, it's mental, especially seeing Ryan's name back in results, and it's someone was straight in my inbox you've seen what McLeod ran for a marathon today? He only needed to run sub 3 hours to get in Chicago, because that's his target. And I was oh no, what the ran was he's gonna run 2:33. And I was 2:33. It was mental, man. But I think especially with McLeod, real quality operator back in the day, top of the pile, ability wise. Ability wise. So I think it surprises me when I see them times, but actually when I break it down and process it in my head, I think, well, actually this is a man who has got bags of ability, bags of talent, and a good work ethic as well. So I think, he's got whatever health issues behind him, and he's back on back on the road.
Fingers crossed. We want to just see more of it. It is class seeing, I know we've mentioned on so many of the shows, with all the races that we do for RunThrough, there's so many different journeys, and usually we're thinking about first timers or people who are coming to our running event later in their career, or they've had various struggles with this, that, and the other, and you forget about
the retiring returns.
Yeah. And then it's also journeys for them as well. So, there might have been, it could be reasons for their personal life, or the career took over, they've had health issues, or, they've had families and stuff. But then eventually, for whatever reason, they find their way back to running. And it's a new beginning. It is just class to witness that. I'm
going to do it when I'm 40. Sub 4:40.
So for what? Marathon?
No.
800?
No. Sub 4:15.
1500?
Yeah. I'd smash that, man.
How old
I'd
are you
probably
now?
run 3:36 or something like that.
Probably with the carbons.
How old am I now? 38, man.
38.
Yeah, so...
You got to start training now then.
You are?
You've got to start training now for it.
Nah, I don't need. I'll wait till my 40th birthday. Get a new pair of carbons. I'll be down that track.
When's your birthday though?
August.
August.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to do it when you're nearly 41 then, because you'll be running out of races.
Yeah, but I don't need to worry about that, mate.
No, okay.
You got it.
Well,
No sweat.
I agree with you.
Yeah, sub 440. Watch this space.
Yeah,
3.75 laps. I'm coming back. Return of the Mac.
Yeah, I feel like I would like to have some solid targets, but I haven't been out of it long enough to have that same like journey. But it's not really a comeback because I haven't been out.
You're not a retire and return. You're just like
semi-retire and semi-return.
Yeah. You're like, you're just spending a lot of time in the med bay. Like, there's a lot of rehab going on. You're a bit of you're an Owen Hargreaves at the end of his career, like always crocked, but like there'll be a video of you training every now and then. Remember when he was knocking out them videos to show you still had it? That's your Instagram now.
More like the Michael Owen ones. Pulled up lame.
Anyway, let's get back on track, Parzy. What we're here for? Talking of road.
So the Top Flight 2026 fixtures. So we're back with a bang. We've said from the start, year 3 was going to be, the year where it's really taken a hold.
So hold up, you're telling me I've got another year's contract?
You've got another year's
contract. Oh, thank God. My kids will eat tonight.
Yeah. Back to McDonald's.
Yeah. Ben Green, Matt Wood, thanks for keeping me on, lads. You're keeping the Morrell family household afloat.
I was just thinking about them. I'm thinking of Cameron and he's like new super ingredients. What's he going to come back with next time?
I know.
Morrell family. I know. But yeah, 2026. So it's the third. So we've got some repeat offenders.
Yeah.
Obviously, because some races have got to come in there. So it's a blend of, we want the message to be that the Top Flight event that month is the strongest event in the UK at that distance. So, or at least in the region. So, if we're trying to navigate around established events where we can, so that there's a place for everybody, especially the established club ones, so the road relays, things like that. So we're looking at where can we put a Top Flight race on to cater for the athletes, for like something that isn't there. So Newcastle 10K in January is back because what else is there in January? Yeah, there's Valencia 10K, but it's not really. There's nothing in the UK, is there? It's cross country season. You've got the British weather, but yeah, a super strong 10K in the northeast, incredibly flat and fast. We're going back to Battersea 10K in February because that worked really well. We had Cameron Allen ran sub 29, right? So it obviously worked.
Yeah.
And then in the March time, we've got Surrey Half Marathon. So again, Surrey Half Marathon was a great race last year, and why not? Let's bring it in. We wanted to do the blend of distances, the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon. April, we are back in Battersea with the 5K. Again, don't change it if it's not broken. So those worked. So
yeah, that's a big fixture, that one, that Battersea Park.
Yeah.
April 1.
And in April, there's so many other things going on with the road relays, that like the regionals and the nationals, and there's Easter, so the options are limited if you don't want to clash, because you've got the London Marathon and other super marathons at the end of April. So finding a place in the calendar that works, it's like, well, that Easter Saturday weekend has been clear because other people avoid it, so we'll go for it again. May is Shettleston 10K, so congratulations to Shettleston Harriers and the Babcock Series. So they've got the Scottish National 10K Championships, which is incorporated. So that's partially due to the work that we did there last year. So yeah,
I really enjoyed that fixture. Yeah,
it was
like as I know I was working it, but like as an event, like watching it, like that was the one that stands out for the like. And I know we've done ones before that have been new and added into the program, but I really enjoyed that one. I thought it was a cracking event, and it looked almost like the weather on the day, coming out of like April time, like it was proper spring in May. And yeah, it looked like a class event, like. Yeah,
I mean, that event, because it's an established event by the club, so there's the 3 race series we've mentioned before with Helmsborough, Dumbarton and Shettleston. The 3 clubs work incredibly well together. They have done for decades. So it's just so smoothly ran, traditional, and we've come on board to add some value to the event, which hopefully we have done. And I guess because this quality of the field was so good last year. Natasha Phillips smashing the women's records. Omar broke the men's, but we had Logan Rees was up there. Brogan Wallace, who's come back to do a few of the races, was up there. So really strong field on both sides. And adding the Scottish National 10K champs in there just feels like it fits with Top Flight.
Yeah.
June, we are back in Battersea. Again, don't break it if it's... don't fix it if it's not broken. We did Battersea in July 2 years ago. June this time, and the one we have switched out is Aintree. So that's going to be, we go to Aintree 5 times a year with RunThrough, so it hasn't totally taken off, admittedly, with the Top Flight, because there's been so many other competitive events around there, and it was such a good event, like actually there, so we'd have no qualms really about adding it back in, but on the camera it doesn't translate as well as we would like. So it's a huge event, like 1,600 people, the grandstand's full, but because of the camera angles we've got, it's that atmosphere doesn't like translate as good as it actually is when you're there. So maybe there's some elements that we could tweak.
Yeah, it did look a bit like, and from a studio camera point of view, it looked a bit flat. I'm not saying it was flat at the event, but it looked a bit flat on the stream. And what struck me about it is like, because the field wasn't huge, there was big gaps. And I just remember, like, we spoke about this with Alex Bell when she'd done the podcast with us. She found it hard. It was a tough day at the office for her, and she was just isolated in no man's land, and it didn't look great from an aesthetic point of view. Whereas you flip it to, you know, a Battersea Park and it's heaving.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can understand why we want to try something
exactly
different.
And that's part of it, right? So we've got it's got to work for everybody, but ultimately it's for the athletes, and one of the performance factors is the atmosphere and all the things we're trying to bring to it. Like, we're trying to bring all the bells and whistles, so dropping that, in theory you would think it should work even better at Aintree, but just because of the layout, it didn't look as good as we'd like. So yeah, maybe it's one that we go back to, because the course itself is class. So if you could just if there was a gap opened up somewhere and there's just a need, and we knew we're going to get like 300 runners signed up, no brainer, get it back in, because the depth of the field would be class. But if it's going to be a small field, there's other places that we'd like to try. So we're going to go to Stockport in July instead. So Stockport 10K, road closed event, 2,000 runners, finishes pitch side. It's a pretty flat course, so let's give it a go. So it's going to be a massive event. So one of the things for Top Flight is it in front of one of our massive events? So it can either be at the front of a massive event because it's just big and you're winning a big title, you're beating off 2,000 people, you've got loads of sponsors, the streets have got lots of people out there supporting you, so that fits the bill. Or is it like a Battersea, is it like a Quayside, where you've got a very knowledgeable audience in a condensed location, where you've got that like dramatic atmosphere? So sort of one or the other. So Stockport, that's going to be like great to see how that one goes, with it being a new event. August, it's the OG Quayside 5K. So unconfirmed 100%, but we're hoping that is going to include the inter-regional championships, especially for the under-20s.
I like this.
Yeah, so North Midlands, South, I believe.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can bring a Scotland team in. So it's still,
I like
still in
that.
discussion. We'd like to do it. So like I said about the Scottish national champs fitting the bill, bringing the areas, like, so can we cater? Can we do stuff with the regions? Can we have some of these races as the regional championships? Or, you know, can we work with British Athletics, the European trials, and all these races? Like, can we do something to help? But we're already trying to do something for these athletes, so can we get other people on board to try and, you know, be cohesive and try and move the sport forward, basically? So yeah, that'll be class to add that element to it. 13:43 this year from Ben Connor speaks for itself. It's just such a fast course and fully road closed now. We added the 10K this year where we went to full road closures. So in the second year, I expect that event is going to be well over 2,000 people down there on the Quayside on a summer Wednesday night. It's roaring down there. It's absolutely class. September, we had an absolutely great event this year at Cheshire. at the Cheshire Half Marathon. Omar smashed the men's records. Ding Dong Battle with Joe Hudson.
Yeah.
Poppy Tank smashed the
Runaway
record.
Winner. Yeah.
Runaway winner.
Smashed it.
The course is beautiful, as the athlete said afterwards, that it was a really enjoyable course. Countryside, we did all the testing that you would expect us to do.
Countryside, no good for signal.
When 2,000 people turn up into an area which is in the countryside and all start wanting to film people on the race, it just killed the signal. So yeah, it was painful for us on the live stream, because all the testing we did, once the signal starts to go, it's hard to get it back when you're then on the move. So
long day for me and Cam in the office.
So the race itself is amazing, but we want to do the live stream, we want to do all of these things, so we're going to have to try a different event. So yeah, again, similar to Aintree, there's no reason why we can't go back to that event. But the race itself is class. So if you want a fast half marathon, it's a great race for it. But if we want to execute the live stream better and deliver on all the other things that we want to do, we've got to choose somewhere else. So we're going to go to Altrincham 10K. It was 3,500 runners this year. It's absolutely massive. Like, it's a huge event. Amy Eloise Neal, not last year, the year before, ran 32 and bits on the ladies course. So it's not pancake flat, but it's still, reasonably flat. If Amy's ran 32 minutes on there, the men's record is weak, so we'll have to put a time caveat on there. So the men's record's just inside 32 minutes as well, I think. So we'll have to put the time bonus caveats on that.
Yeah.
But it's the first weekend in September. Again, after that, you've got some huge established races, so it's silly to go up against them because you're diluting the field. You've then got the road relays thing, so going early in September works. Then again, because of the gap in the calendar for all the road relays and stuff, we're coming back to Jarrow. It's such a fast course. This is perfect for top flight.
I know, I'm hoping this year shows it.
This year we do have a clash with the rescheduled Trafford 10K, so that will affect the field, which won't be the case next year. That course is just so fast. So once that catches on, once people realise from further afield how fast that course is, that could just absolutely rocket. Like that could be one of the top races in the country. It's going to be nearly 2,000 entries this year, which is crazy. All these races, like we're saying 2,000 entries now as if it's like, oh yeah, that always happens. A couple of years ago, that was like unheard of. We were like celebrating when we were getting to 1,000, but now 2,000's like, yeah. Easy.
I can remember it 2 years ago. I remember you telling me like, oh, there's 800 and so entered so far. Like, this is doing class. And then we were on about it the other day, and it's like we're up to 1,900.
Yeah, like one doubled.
Yeah,
in the 2 years.
Yeah,
but I mean, that was, I guess, the pilot for Top Flight, because we did the whole Top Flight show and stuff for Jarrow. 29:15 was the winning time last year again. So another fantastic one. Now there's a natural gap in the calendar between Altrincham and Jarrow of about 7 weeks, because it's the start of September, the end of October. So we thought, although we're going one race a month in general, we've broken it. So we've got the 13th major.
The 13th fixture?
Yeah. So we're going, so Chester Marathon
13
is now going to be part of the Top Flight series.
A Top Flight Marathon?
Top Flight Marathon at Chester.
Oh.
So it's huge. I think we had 10,000 runners in Chester Marathon this year, and yeah, it's just fantastic to bring that to the series. So already did things like live stream in a different way. They do it in a different way for Chester, but yeah, we're going to look at how we can work with Top Flight to elevate it. It's the best marathon in the UK at this time of year. So in the autumn, we've only got one major marathon really in the UK. So it just makes sense to, we've got the half marathon in the spring in Surrey, we're going to have the marathon in the autumn in Chester. That means so the Top Flight points will still apply. There'll be a slightly different prize money pot, because they already had their own established pot. So it'll be a bit of a blend of what we already had and then some bonus times thrown in the mix. So yeah, we'll work together on that to make sure that it works well for the athletes and that it fits. It means those marathon runners who are probably unlikely to run at the races like around that time of year for the top flight. It means they might pick up points early on in the season. So hopefully it brings in a different type of athlete to the series as well. And yeah, but we didn't want to bring in a marathon and displace something else.
Yeah.
So we're going to be back to Fulham in November. So again, it's just a massive event. I'm expecting Fulham next year to be 5,000-6,000 runner event.
Mm-hmm.
It's established now as one of the top 10Ks in the whole of the UK. If you keep getting sub 29 winning times, and then December back to Ribble Valley.
Yeah.
Again, that's the Northern Championship, so it's ticking a lot of boxes. It's always a ding dong battle, series finale. Yeah, class. We're also doing the track races again. Haven't decided exactly on the dates because it's hard to work around the calendar, and there's the European Championships, the Commonwealth, which has knock-on effects, but we are wanting to put the fixtures on in the Northeast again with the BMC to try and cater for, mainly you're looking at under 23s and under 20 athletes, shorter distances. They don't get the same points, but it's there's still a prize money.
Yeah.
We're catering for the Northeast, and especially for Scotland there's a lot of Scottish athletes come down, so we're trying to be UK-wise. There's a mixture. There's 5Ks, 10Ks. There's a half marathon. There's a marathon. We've got track races. We're for everybody.
Boxed it off. Boxed a lot off.
So what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to going back to Shettleston, especially with that including the Scottish champs. Like I said, I don't know, there was just something about that I enjoyed commentating on that one. I've always got a soft spot for Quayside as well. I know this time, like after the event, I came down, after we'd done it in the studio, I came down the Quayside, and that was nice, seeing a few athletes dotting around and things like that, so that was pretty cool. And then, the marathon. I've never commentated on a marathon.
It's going to be
so if we get that off the ground, that'll be interesting. But I think, the one for me is Shettleston 10K. I'm really looking forward to that one. I've got a soft spot for the Shettleston 10K.
Yeah, I'm particularly interested, like I said, in the marathon to see with all of the build-up that we can give it through top flight, how that affects the field.
Yeah.
Because traditionally, it hasn't been super strong, but then the last 2 years has creeped down to like a 2:16 and 2:17.
It was 2:17
last. Josh Griffith, in terrible weather as well.
Yeah.
So 2:17 for Josh Griffith, terrible weather, but 2:16 the year before. So the times are sneaking down there. So, if you'd asked me the question 2 years ago, would we put Chester in? I would have gone, well, the times haven't been anything to indicate that it would be one for an elite field, because people will look at it and go like, well, what was it won in?
Yeah.
But now that it has got a few fairly quick winning times, hopefully adding the top flight element, let's get sub 2:15 next year. That would be class. Let's get somebody doing 2:30 on the ladies' side.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see how that fits, and I'm also interested to see if we can break all of the top flight records again, because this year they've gone.
Yeah.
In the 5K, the half marathon, we haven't seen the 10K records go yet, but all these courses now are getting more established. They're getting more of a reputation. So each time you're getting a bigger group of athletes, you've got to be an Olympian to break a record in the top flight, pretty much. Other than Omar, right? So Omar's got it for the half marathon, but we had Steph 12, so was an Olympian, broken by Poppy Tang. So you've had to beat an Olympian to get that. Well, actually, Mark Scott held the half marathon record before Omar broke it. And then in the 10K, there's Emil and Jess Jurds. And in the 5K, you've got Ben Connor and Amy Eloise Neal, right? So the records that we've established for the series.
Elite British athletes.
Exactly. Yeah. And the course records. And initially, we had these time caveats. So, you had to run faster to get to trigger the time bonus payout for the top 8, which is the same. And then if you got a course record, you only got the payout if it was faster than a certain time. We set that bar, and they're pretty much being broken across the board. There's only 2, I think, for next year where there's still a time caveat remains. So the majority of these records have been obliterated. And I think by having that carrot dangling has artificially made the races faster. Because it's not just, okay, well, on the men's side, I need to break 30 minutes and then going, actually, well, if I want to get paid on the course record, I've got to run it under 29:30. And now these course records are, 29 29.15 and 29.0 something at Chattleston now, and 28.50s, and yeah, class. Just want to see how fast we can take these.
Yeah, it's gone from strength to strength, absolutely. So 2026, another big year for Top Flight.
Yeah, and I guess another thing that I really do want to see is multiple athletes completing the series. So getting that like 3, 4, 5 races in, so that when we get towards the end of the series, there's such a, you know,
and we've had more of that this year.
We've had more of it.
Yeah.
We've had it right at the top end, but can we get that race within a race developed down, and that enables us to continually have a narrative and to just keep producing more content for the athletes all the way through. And then hopefully the knock-on effect of that is, you know, the athletes start to get some sponsorship and branding off that. So hopefully we can like enable them to do that.
Yeah. Sounds good, mate.
Everybody PB's in a Top Flight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I might have to re-release the song now that we've got a bigger following.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
It'll get pulled for 2026. You release that song.
Yeah.
Lads will be on the phone. Chris, game over, mate. You have to go.
Yeah. You've gone too far. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you for coming and joining me again on another series of podcasts. And yeah, you'll be back for 2026.
Yeah. Cheers. Thanks. Food on the table.
Yeah, it'll be more of the same. We'll continue to develop things. If other people have got ideas who are listening to this, just tell us. We want ideas. We want to try and deliver. We want to just keep making this better. And yeah, we're obviously really passionate about it. But you know, the support that everybody's shown us makes it worthwhile. And yeah, segue that into if you are liking what we're doing, give us the comments. We will look at them. We'll reply. We'll try and take them on board. Give us the likes, the shares, give us the subscribes. Everything that you do feeds into the channel and allows us to do more of this and to keep the Top Flight series going places, which is all the way at the top. So thank you very much. We'll see you next time.